Darklight Energetics channel is a project to explore the vast variety of topics about spirituality, psychology, and social topics as well. If you wish to support this effort, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through PayPal. Your support will help us improve the quality, length, and number of topics covered in our videos. Do check out the links in the description below. And to become our channel sponsors, email us at info.darklightenergetics@gmail.com. Do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much and enjoy the video.
Hi friends, this is Jeet and I would like you to another episode of Darklight Energetics on awareness. This is something which we would like to discuss, and we've been getting a lot of questions about patterns and what do you mean by surface level when we speak about awareness. Because normally when we talk about awareness, we start with, we normally tell people that, this person is on surface level. That doesn't necessarily mean that, somebody is special, somebody is more awake than the other one. It doesn't mean that. It is just to make you understand the different levels of awareness. And today we are going to cover 7 levels of awareness in this particular video. So as I was telling you, there are 7 levels of awareness, and in this video, we will take you into depth of it. Again, this is just for understanding purpose. It's not exactly how it is supposed to be or how it is, because for every person, the level of awareness and the level of perception changes, and it differs from person to person. But this is just to give you an idea overall on different levels of awareness. So for example, the surface level that we speak of, on surface level, what it is, what happens, and what is the subconscious mind doing over there. So friends, the moment we say subconscious mind or the unconscious mind, that itself, it means that something which you are not conscious of, right? So that is what is subconscious mind. The things that is controlling you, the patterns that are controlling you, of which you are not even aware of, that is, you can say, subconscious mind activity or patterns. So when we say somebody is on surface level, what we mean by that is that person is not receptive at all. That person is on a very, very beginning level, or you can say on a mundane level, you can say. So say, for example, husband and wife fight, for example, they're on surface level, on very first level. So what happens on first level is they keep fighting and quarreling with each other. They are just acting out of their impulsive emotions and reactions. They don't even know why it is happening. They just keep fighting, and now later on, as they evolve slowly, on second level, awareness comes in. When awareness comes in a little bit, they realize that they are fighting. They realize that something is not right, something is not working out, something is not right, and something is off track. So in first level, they were just totally oblivious to it. So that's what we call surface level. People take decisions, they act, and they are very oblivious to whatever they are doing. That is why we say that there is this lack of awareness in that, right? So they are very oblivious to what they are doing. That is the surface level. Then on the second level, they were simply fighting, but then they used to think that there is something which is not correct. In this case, the husband is fighting with wife, for example, but now they are getting an awareness that they are fighting and that something is not right. Now, gradually on third level, they become aware of the problem and solution comes in. So first, they are not even aware that there is some problem. Okay, they are just fighting out of emotions, out of their reactions. But then, in the third level of awareness, they come to know that there is some sort of problem and we need to fix it. Solution comes in. They seek for solution. Like, for example, they realize that they shouldn't have used certain words, and now that they did, they need to apologize and forgive each other. So some sort of sensitivity comes in, or in other ways, they shouldn't behave in a particular manner. So they come to know the reason for the fights. So now the awareness level has increased, as they are also able to find the solution with humility and maturity. You will also find that the people who are more on surface level are not mature enough. This is also one of the reasons why we say that your so-called maturity. The reason I say so-called, because most people say mature means knowledgeable person or something like that. Maturity is actually directly proportional to the level of your awareness, your sensitivity, and your consciousness. The more conscious you are, the more wise you will become. Not necessarily knowledgeable or acquired knowledge, but we are talking about wisdom, and wisdom makes person mature by default. So it doesn't matter if that person technically knows things or not, but they are wise. And when they are wise, obviously they are mature. So you will observe that more people who are on surface level, they are most of the time they lack wisdom. So coming back to the point, coming back to what we were talking, so now they realize that they shouldn't have behaved in a particular manner. They shouldn't have used certain words. So now that awareness level has increased, they are also able to find the solution with humility and maturity. Now, when they ponder more and go towards fourth level of awareness, you go a little more further into depth of it. So far, they just saw the reasons of this on the surface level. Now they go a little deep. So he or she did this or said this, hence I reacted that way. So here the pointing out is on the other person that they did something and that's why I reacted this way. These are all again superficial reasons on surface levels, but actual reasons are something else. So small things trigger you because the anger, grudges, etc. is originally linked with some old issue. So whenever something triggers those old issues, and then the suppressed emotions burst out. So now they become aware that their fights are not actually their fights. It is the fight of wife's mother against husband's father. Now I'll explain you why that is. So how is that? When awareness grows, you'll realize that when wife is fighting with her husband, she repeats the same pattern that she has observed from childhood. She has observed how her mother used to fight with her father, and unconsciously, she does the same thing. The same patterns are following in all of us. It is just that we are oblivious about it and we need to bring awareness, as in how our parents' patterns, values, conditionings, beliefs, etc. are ruling us. This is the main key because what are we? What is the physical body composed of? It is composed of the DNA of our parents, right? So those DNAs carry those patterns as well. Because since childhood we are observing so many people, especially our parents. Hence we copy the same patterns unknowingly. For example, wife has seen her mother how she used to react when her father used to dominate her or fight with her. Now, if unknowingly, when awareness comes in, she herself will be surprised. How are these things happening? And why is she behaving like this? So now, when she contemplates, she'll realize why is she going into self-pity, for example, or why is she behaving in a particular manner? That's where she'll realize that she's copying the traits of her parents. Same thing is happening with the husband. He's also copying his dad or mom. But mostly guys copy dad and the father, and women copy their mothers, mostly, in most cases. So now this guy's subconscious mind will refer to the memory of childhood and recollect how his father used to sort out things with his mother after their fight. And this guy will try to do the same thing. And that is why most of the time it doesn't work because it's the old ways that we are trying to use, that our parents used to do. But in the present time, it may or may not work. So because it is one of the spiritual law, whatever you observe, you become that. Even though if you hate that, but since you are observing it, so the brain's mirror neurons will copy that. So now there is an eureka effect. There is an awareness which says that, oh, I'm actually replicating my own parents, their patterns. When he discovers this truth about himself, that he's repeating same old patterns, sometimes we give so many examples, still people don't get it. But in contemplation, when awareness grows, there is the eureka effect that, like I said, there is this discovery of your inner truth, and that is your realization or experience, you may say. So now that you become aware about these patterns, now you want to get liberated from those patterns because so many things you have observed and registered in your brain and mind. Now, daughter, say for example, daughter is scared of lizard or cockroach or something else. Why? Because her mother also was scared of same thing. So kids download these patterns genetically, and also they observe on what things their parents get mad, how they react, how they escape from their sufferings. And that is the main key. And the other thing is uh, how that's exactly the kid will copy and do. Basically that is what unknowingly we copy. So when your awareness is too low, you consume and become low level patterns, basically. So now after contemplating, when your awareness grows, now you want to get liberated from these patterns. That is one of the reason, my dear friends, we always suggest couples to increase their level of consciousness and then think of going for a baby in case if they want to go for it. We normally support child-free lifestyle, but then in case if they want to go for a child or a baby, we encourage them to first increase the level of consciousness and awareness. And this should be both ways. It's not that one person is on high level and other person is not, because the toxicity, these type of patterns, this will definitely get downloaded in the baby. So as I was saying, when your awareness is too low, you consume and become low level patterns. So now after contemplating, when your awareness grows, now you want to get liberated from this particular pattern or any patterns. The stereotype belief also play a major role into this. Like for example, guys don't cry. This is a very generic thing, that guys should not cry, or girls should always wear pink. Women are always soft-hearted, for example. And most popular, man will be men. This is a very common belief system that people have, that men will be men, or boys will be boys. Well, these are certain stereotypes which create an indirect beliefs in us, and then we view everyone based on these sets of stereotype beliefs. Sadly, that's what people have made their life patterns, and they assume that they are living their lives, basically. But if you contemplate and become aware, you will realize that those values, beliefs, etc., even morals, might have worked for some people in some given lifetime, but it is not necessary that it will work for you in this given situation, or any or all the situation in all the lifetimes, right? So how should we respond considering the current situations? How can you be blissful in a neutral state in current situation is something someone must constantly ponder upon. That's why we always say that it's an ongoing journey. It's not that it's nothing to achieve. In spirituality, there is nothing to achieve, or there is nowhere to go. It's an ongoing journey. So only when we contemplate and go into the depth of it, of why we have fear, for example, or why do we have grudges, hatred, resentment, etc., and what are the belief, values, and even morals that are ruling us, do we need to follow those old patterns and beliefs, or do we need to bring in a new perception and a set of actions based on our current situation? So person who moves along with the current times and with current scenarios on a neutral basis, that person will definitely ascend. Now then comes the fifth level of awareness. When fifth level of awareness comes, you see the patterns are not even of your parents. So first of all, you are not even aware about your patterns. You are totally oblivious. Then you come into awareness of your patterns. Then you realize that how those patterns are coming in you from different people, different situations, different memories. And now you come to know that they are not even of your parents, actually. So you see the patterns are also not of your parents. The fight that happened is not due to your parents, but due to the belief and concepts that they had in their minds, which has formed those patterns. So it is a fight of ideas, perceptions, and mentality, or thought patterns and judgments, not literally actually fight of between people. I mean, globally, if you look at it, even religious fights or any type of conflicts, it's not actually about good and bad, because what is good for somebody can be bad for somebody else. So those judgments, those belief, so it's a conflict between the belief and judgment and perceptions. It's not about what is right and wrong or good and bad or not never about morals, because those things keep changing from time to time and from person to person. So we observe our parents, and they have observed their parents, and so on and so forth. So the right and the wrong, sacred and profane, dark and light, all of those judgments. But now the problem is that we all are somewhere convinced that this is how life is supposed to be. We have created this as a norm, unfortunately. So this is how a husband must behave. This is how wife must behave. Wife must take care of kids. Husband must do the job. Whatever, those type of generic norms that we have created. On Valentine's Day, you must give roses. Well, according to me, it's every day is a day of love. You don't need a particular day to celebrate. Just in my own, personal opinion. But these are all certain norms that people have created. So these are all set of rules, and this is how every person is living right now. Unfortunately, I would say that they are existing. They are not even living, but they call it as living. But when that husband and wife grow together in awareness, only when they will find real solution and discover true love. This only happens when both husband and wife contemplates and go into the depths of the discovery of that truth. So this is, it's not just that, okay, I discovered this anger is there, or there is this jealousy, or there is this fear. Not like that. You must go to the depth of it. So what people lack is not just awareness, but even when you are aware, when you are in awareness, you lack the depth of it. So people must go in contemplation mode, and then that's why at Dark Light Energetics we encourage contemplation more, and we ask people to do contemplation. Not that you practice it. It's not some kind of practice. It's something that happens naturally. Okay, so as you grow in depth of it, now again, growing into depth of the truth doesn't mean you dissect yourself within. It's not speculation. It's not some sort of further inner conflicts that you create. No, it's not like that. Contemplation is happening. It's a natural happening. It happens, and how that happens, we cannot describe on a particular in a particular video, but we normally guide people and train people for that. So then comes the sixth level. At sixth level, the couple discovers soul connection with each other. So far, they were only connected because they were husband and wife, or because of physical, mental, or some sort of needs. So it was a need-based relationship. But now they start connecting spiritually. That is what we mean by spiritual connection. You can check out the video on spiritual connection or soul connection on our channel. Now comes the seventh level of awareness. On seventh level, the spiritual connect finds its purpose, its meaning. It is then that the couple discovers their spiritual contracts, etc. Because on this planet, nobody just meets anybody without any purpose. There are no such thing as coincidence. We all meet each other with some purpose. There are some spiritual contracts which person needs to contemplate again and find it out. So on seventh level, they discover the contracts of the spiritual connect. Then they continue evolving. So we explain the 7 levels of awareness in relationships here. But what about expansion of consciousness? So expansion of consciousness happens again in 7 stages. First, we discover oneness within. Right now, we have multiple personalities within. Our authentic self, inauthentic self, the conscious and unconscious self. We are that dialogue. Gradually, when that dialogue shuts down and all inner chatter ceases, and there is an immense silence, that is where we become one within. Now, again, after listening to this, please don't practice. Please don't try to become that. All right. It comes gradually with meditation and contemplation. It's a natural state, and it is a state of consciousness. If you try to do that, it will be an hallucination. It will be yet another mind game. So don't try. That's why we always say that, don't try to be kind. Don't try to be compassionate. These all things are not to be cultivated. These are things to be discovered, and automatically it flowers and blossoms. So that is where one becomes or discovers oneness within. So that's why we always say be alone. Alone means all one, not alone as in isolated, but alone means all one. Even when you are physically alone, so called, you're not actually alone. There are so many energies, there are so many beings that are still connected with you. So there is no more division, there is no more duality as you evolve. In, in second level, consciousness expands for other human beings with whom you have spiritual connections. Then on third level, the consciousness expands and you start connecting with plants, trees, animals, skies, rocks, water, etc. You are one with nature. You discover that you are the universe. Finally, you discover you are God, meaning you and the God or the nature are one. So at Darklight Energetics, we intend to take you to that point of self-discovery, to rediscover your true self or your divine within and without, and to discover cosmic oneness. On that note, namaste.